It's normal to be scared when you think about the future, but does the future hold $100 silver for us? We're going to talk about the national debt, the spiral, the big doom heading our way. We're going to talk about CBDCs. We haven't talked about that lately. I've got some new information for you about central bank digital currencies. And this week, guys, could prove absolutely pivotal for the silver price and the gold price. We've got big lineup of events coming up this week, and it's only a 4-day week, so we're going to be buckled in for a wild ride. We're going to cover it all. We're going to do it together. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you would, do one little nice thing already. I know you like to do nice things. See my ugly thumb? There's a thing that looks like that. Press the thumbs up. That helps us get the word out to more and more people. But let's dive in right away. The United States debt can never be paid off. Yeah, I was sitting last night on the couch thinking, and it dawned on me like what a major, big situation this is, critical situation for our country. $34 trillion cannot be paid off, guys, with the current value of the dollars that we have. It just cannot happen. As a country, we are broke and insolvent. If it was you as an individual, if you came to me and said, "Hey, Ron, I want to get you some financial advice," and of course, I don't dispense financial advice. I'm just giving my opinions. But if you did come to me and said, "Hey, Ron, I have a job. I make $60K a year. My wife doesn't work. We have a $300,000 house mortgage, a $75,000 Ford F-150 pickup truck loan. I've got $30,000 in student debt. I've got $45,000 in credit card debt, and I bought a bunch of Christmas presents on that new fangled financial tool they have called Buy Now, Pay Later." You know what I'd tell you? I'd tell you, you're broke. I'm sorry, I yelled at you. You're broke and you're insolvent. Okay, you'll never be able to pay all that back. That's exactly the situation that the United States is in right now. With current dollars, and it's going to get very interesting for silver, for gold, because with current dollars, there's no way it can ever be paid back. It's not working, okay? It's not going to work, and it's going to have a major impact on the silver price and the gold price, okay? At current trajectory right now, the USA, we are on a path to get to a point where all the money that our government brings in from tax revenue will, at some point in the near future, at the current trajectory, all the money that the government collects will have to be used just to pay the interest on the debt alone. That's not good, guys. That's like you making $60K a year with that scenario I gave you earlier, and you coming to me and saying, all the interest payments, I just calculated it. Just the interest on all this debt that I racked up is over $60,000. I'd say, you're broke. You're insolvent. Time to claim bankruptcy, okay? Now, the United States government's in a unique position because it can print its own money, and that plays directly into what we're going to talk about with dilution, the dollar becoming worth less, okay? Ponzi schemes, smoke and mirrors, the whole 9 yards, unicorn fart dust, make-believe, magic money, funny money, whatever you want to call it. We're going to get there, don't worry. And we're going to get much higher real value for your silver and your gold. And it's inevitable because mathematics, truly, math shows zero forgiveness on the altar of truth. Another way to say that is not even God, and this is not a religious show, I'm not saying anything about God or anything, but not even God can change the fact that 2 plus 2 always equals 4, okay? The next step is our government needing to print money just to pay the interest on the debt. Now, when will that happen? 2 years? 5 years, right? We're in this situation right now with this massive amount of debt, and we're not even in a quote unquote crisis. According to the White House, according to President Joe Biden, right? Everything's great. Bidenomics is working. It's working, okay? But what if we do hit a recession or another major black swan event. Have you noticed black swan events are happening on a more frequent basis at a more extreme level over the last 3 years? Like everything is happening quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. I don't know. I don't want to be a doom. I'm not here to be a doomsayer, fear monger. Okay. I'm here to assess risk. And when I assess risk, I'm real scared for myself and for my family, right? I'm not saying that absolutely these things are going to happen, because we all know, no one knows for sure. Maybe there is a happy ending. Maybe there's magic fairy dust that Jerome Powell can sprinkle throughout the United States and the world, and everybody's okay. But I don't see it. And I like to assess risk, right? I like to kind of look around the corner. I think you like to look around the corner. If you are that type of person who likes to look around the corner, oh, I already asked you to subscribe. Well, I'm going to ask you again. Please subscribe to the channel. And I got to show you my thumb, my ugly thumb. Give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. All right. So we're in this situation where eventually the government is going to have money printed just to pay off the interest on the debt. Guys, that's called a spiral. That's a doom spiral, a debt spiral, whatever you want to call it. That's you making $60K a year, having to pay $80,000 a year in interest alone. And you saying, well, I can just get another credit card and use the money I got on the credit card to pay. Well, that adds to your debt. And that's exactly what's going on in the United States right now. I can't believe you guys have done it already. 100 thumbs up. You know what that means, basement dwellers. All you ladies and all you fellers, welcome to the basement. It's time for the 100 thumbs up bell warning. That bell was Susie's when she was a little girl. For those of you who don't know who Susie is, that's my beautiful wife. And she runs the house. I run the basement. Now, it's a spiral. There's no other way around it. It's not good the way this whole situation plays out, okay? It's like a company. It's like if you owned a business and you started selling products to yourself, right? That doesn't work. Maybe you can pull it off. Maybe you can pull off the scam for a little while, but eventually it's a mirage, okay? And it only devalues whatever paper dollars that we are holding right now. Look, we're all holding some paper dollars. Some of us a lot more than others. Some people are all in on metals. Everybody's different. You need to do whatever's right for you. But we can say one thing for sure. Mathematically, it's impossible that the value of the dollar does not go down. Is it going to become worthless or just worth less, right? It seems like it's just a matter of time and simple mathematics. 2 + 2 = 4. Somebody needs to send a calculator to Washington, D.C. Maybe I need to pack up my calculator and send it out there for them. It will be dilutive to the currency. Here's a great example. Let's say you're coming over to my house. We're going to watch football today, okay? Honestly, I went and watched that. I'm not a big football fan. A lot of people are, but, and I watched the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, thank you, STP Stacker. I forgot about Super Chats. Super Chats are super appreciated. It helps support the channel, helps make these videos possible. And STP Trader was the first Super Chat of the day. Thank you, my friend. But we're going to watch football. You're going to come over, right? I'm going to make some of my famous chili that I make once every 3 years. We're going to watch some football. You go to the grocery store down the corner, around the street from my house, and you want to buy a bottle of Jack Daniel's whiskey, right? I don't drink anymore. I used to drink, but I haven't drank, 15, 16 years. I used to drink. I was very good at drinking, believe it or not. Anyway, you're going to bring over some whiskey for yourself. You go to the grocery store. You go to buy some Jack Daniel's. Jack Daniel's is 80 proof. It used to be when I drank it, which means it's 40% alcohol. Okay? You go to buy a bottle of Jack Daniel's. You get it. You pay for it. It's the same price as always, whatever it costs now, $20 a bottle, whatever. You come and you pour yourself a bottle of Jack Daniel's. You take a drink and you think, that doesn't taste like it used to. What's going on? And you look at the bottle and you're like, those sneaky little rats in Lynchburg, Tennessee, They changed the strength of the whiskey. It's no longer 80 proof, it's only 60 proof now. They diluted it. They charged you the same price, and that's what's going to go on. Potentially, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do believe in math. That's what's going to go on with the US dollar. It's not good, guys. How do you protect yourself? How do I protect myself? You know the answer to that question. Silver and gold. If you protect yourself, if you believe that owning silver and gold are protecting yourself, let's all participate. I'm going to participate. I'm going to type capital SG. That's my SG is my abbreviation for silver and gold. Do you use abbreviations? I'm lazy. I love abbreviations. SG. If you use, thank you, Jim M. Good to see you, Coin Shop Chris, Craig Edmonds, Annie Oakley. I don't know if we have Sassy Silver on here, but thank you to all the moderators for being here today. Let's keep moving along. I already said it, but I got these darn notes I put together for you guys. I love talking with you. I love the fact that you're with me. We're all together, almost 300 of us on a Sunday morning having a powwow here in the basement. Thank you for being here. Okay. All right. Here, I'm not going to repeat. Susie calls me a repeater, Ron. Is she on here? I don't know if she's on here or not. I'll get in trouble. Anyway, do they think we're stupid? Our leaders. I mean, what are these people thinking? Are they stupid? I beg the question. Thank you, Ron McAdams. SG, Silver and Gold, Ron McAdams, Super Chat. And he protects himself with silver and gold from these politicians, these quote-unquote leaders, the Federal Reserve, the Treasury, the Office of the President, our state senators and representatives. I think on a state level, it's different. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But do they think that we're stupid? Are they stupid, or are they just corrupt? Or what is going on? Or are they doing it on purpose? And we're going to talk about some developments in the world of CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, a little later. Is that what they're up to? You know, a lot of people are saying that in the next 12 months, this could be the most explosive 12 months in any of our lives. What is going to happen? People say, well, there could be a crisis which will incentivize the majority of the population to accept the implementation of a central bank digital currency. Is that what's going on? We don't know, okay? Why aren't people up in arms? Why do people just not care? Why are we the only ones who care? Basement dwellers. Why does so few people care that they've pillaged the country? That's one of my questions. When will people wake up? They will wake up. They will wake up, okay? Here, let me get the train whistle. We're going to do a bonus whistle this morning. Hold on a second. This is for Don. Right? Don the Brain. I haven't talked about him for a while. He sent me that train whistle because guess what, guys? You're already on the silver and gold train. Imagine a locomotive in the station, like the old-fashioned kind, right? And they got the steam engine going, and there's like 8 cars, right? We're in the Ron's Basement car. We all know that's the nicest car on the train, but the other cars are great too, right? There's other people that are in the silver and gold community, no doubt about it, but we're already in. We got our nice, comfortable seats. It seats 300 people, all of you that are here this morning. You, right? We're on that train. When people wake up to what's going on, right, and what's it going to be about? A hyperinflation, major bank failures, crisis, who knows, right? We're already on the train. That's when the train leaves the station. And then people are all going to be like, we got to get to the train station. But they're going to show up and the train's already gone because the silver and gold train, remember, it's not infinite. You can't print an infinite amount of gold and silver. There's only so much. So that train could be gone. Now, look, we don't know for sure this is going to happen. Don't make any financial decisions based on what I'm saying. But we do know that if we look at history of the world, right? Why do they teach us history in school? And they say, well, because history, we learned, history repeats itself. History repeats itself. In about 593 times in recorded history, the silver and gold train left the station and saved the people that were already on the silver and gold train. And most of the other people, right, they were running to their local coin shop. They're going online to whatever big giant, and nobody has any silver and gold available. Now, this is a great time for me to mention to you that if you want to get your hands on some silver and gold right now, and look, there's no guarantee any of this is going to happen, but if you want to get your hands on some silver or gold right now, please go check out Pimbex channel sponsor. I'm going to spell it for you. Pimbex, just like it sounds. Pimbex, Pimbex.com. They're an online bullion dealer. They've got a great selection of silver, gold, and platinum. They've got great prices, and they have great customer service. I know that because I've received tens of hundreds of emails from basement dwellers just like you who have said they love Pimbex. Okay? Thank you, Pimbex, for sponsoring Ron's Basement. And don't forget, if you ever decide or you ever consider converting an IRA or part of an IRA to precious metals, make sure you talk to Pimbex when you're shopping around. Compare the deals that you can get. Compare how much actual metal you get for your money. I think you'll find with the IRAs, same thing you find if you buy online bullion online from Pimbex, you'll get more metal for your money. All right, where was I? Oh, when are they going to wake up? When's everybody going to wake up, right? What's it going to take? Is it going to take hyperinflation, right? Is it going to take, you get your car? Have you gotten your car insurance bill yet? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. Don't shoot the messenger. My car insurance is due on January 21st. If anybody wants to pay it for me, that would be great. We have a 2005 Acura TSX. I've owned the same car for 18 years. Wonderful car. And a 2013 Honda Odyssey minivan. And the amount of money, our car insurance went up like 40%. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm hearing everybody else. Have you experienced that? Has your car insurance gone up? Have you gotten a car bill? Can we even afford cars anymore? If you have, since we all like to participate, type car. I'm just curious. I mean, it's ridiculous. Same thing with homeowners insurance. So anyway, back to people waking up to silver and gold. Hyperinflation. I mean, feels like we're having inflation. If you try going to the doctor, people don't go to the doctor anymore because even though supposedly we all have health insurance, by the time you're done going to the doctor, you get those envelopes in the mail. And you just know by the way they look. I got one the other day. I just know by the way they look. I have like the spidey sense. That's a bill. Right? Anyway, is it going to be hyperinflation? Is it going to be a situation where the mother with the 3 children goes to the grocery store to get a gallon of milk? And the gallon of milk that was $4, which is still crazy expensive, 3 weeks ago is suddenly $16, $22, right? Is that when people are going to wake up? Is that why already we're seeing it percolate? Sorry, my voice is changing. Percolate. Hold on a second. We're seeing it percolate already, right? A lot of those mothers, when they go to Costco to buy themselves some milk and toilet paper and kitty litter, right, and maybe a big thing of Jelly Belly jelly beans, they say, you know what, we got a little extra cash. Maybe I'll buy myself an ounce of gold. Maybe I'll buy a tube of American Silver Eagles. Does anybody know about Costco selling American Silver Eagles? I wonder how they're selling. We know that in the most recently reported 3 months from Costco, they sold $100 million worth of gold. I won't go down that road. Will it be? What will wake people up? Will it be bank failures? Okay, we got the Fed talking this week. I'm going to tell you about that. We got big week coming up in this precious metals market. We're going to go through the calendar quickly here in a little bit. But will it be bank failures? Will it be people realizing like, oh my gosh, my bank shut down? Not saying it's going to happen. I'm just reporting what my calculator tells me. Will it be bail-ins? Right? We have this whole big level of awareness coming on from this book and video, The Great Taking, where supposedly There's laws in place right now whereby your bank accounts, your assets that you think you own are actually collateral, have been collateralized for the derivatives market. You can read into that yourself, make your own conclusion regarding that. But will that be what wakes people up? I don't know, right? Or a real depression, right? A real economic hardship, right? We know Citibank laying off 20,000. Amazon's laid people off. Google's laid people off. Who else? The National Football League. I read laid off 200 people. Is it going to be a situation where people that used to have the $90K job at Citibank are now making $42,000 a year, working twice as many hours, delivering Big Macs for DoorDash and driving drunk people home from bars for Uber? I know Uber does other things, but nonetheless, okay, the average American, are you average? I'll ask you, the average American is living paycheck to paycheck, okay? Not the 1%, the average, that shrinking middle class is living paycheck to paycheck. They have no room. If you're an average American, all right, and let me paint this picture for you. If you aren't in this situation, you can be grateful. We aren't. Right? I hate debt. Pay off debt. I'm not giving financial advice, but I will give that financial advice. Pay off your debt. Debt is not your friend. Debt equals slavery. Okay? That's a fact. Right? But so if you aren't in this situation, you're doing much better than the average American, right? The average American has debt on their car, is paying $1,000 a month for a car payment, is paying a house payment, has maxed out their credit cards, right? Credit card debt at all-time high with all-time high interest rates, got student loans, maybe has even resorted, right? If this is not you, you can be, there's something, we always want to focus on gratitude. We can be grateful. If you're putting money into a 401k, all right, you're doing better because a lot of people either aren't putting money into their 401k or worse yet, are taking hardship withdrawals from their 401k where they pay a 10% penalty up front and then pay income tax on the money they bring in. So nice of our government to do that for us. We're going to penalize you on your past earnings and then tax you at the normal rate. Anyway, I digress. All right. If that's not you, you can be grateful. All right. On a worldwide basis, it's even worse, the debt situation. We won't go down that path. Our society seems to be struggling in the United States, okay? On a political and a social level, this is not the country. I'm going off here. Do you feel this? This is not the country that achieved the greatness that this country once achieved. I heard somebody say it last night, like the first 200 years, like 1776 to 1976. And then the last 50 years, it's not the same, right? It's just not the same, okay? It's not the country that the founding fathers envisioned. Thank you, Metal Seer. What's that say? Hertz is selling. Yeah, Hertz. Well, yeah. Hertz is selling a lot of their electric vehicles. People aren't buying electric vehicles. I'll get to that in a second. But thank you for bringing that up, and thank you for the super chat, Metal Seer. This is not the country that the founding fathers envisioned, okay? I think we could say over the first couple hundred years, it was, right? In those first 200 years, what was one of the fundamental things, think about this, that was in place that helped the country become the great country that it was? It was the gold standard. Yes, right? 1776 to 1971. Okay, so 195 years. Anyway, we'll round up to 200. It was the gold standard. It was that tether in real value. That's gone, right? So we are not in the same situation. We're headed for, gosh, guys, we added $2 trillion to the national debt last year. We're headed to a dollar devaluation. I'm not saying it's going away, it's going to be gone, blah, no. And gold and silver, it's a natural It's part of Mother Nature, I guess you would say. It's a natural market, natural progression that silver and gold are becoming more valuable. How's that for a complicated way to say it? That's just the way that it is. They never lost their value, right? But they're becoming more and more valuable. Talk to somebody in their 20s. Talk to some young people. Seriously, ask them how they feel about what's going on, how they feel about the future. It's not a real pretty picture. They know they're facing difficult situations. All of this is going on. Let's get technical here for a second. Let's put on our economist hats, basement dwellers, right? We talk about gold and silver, but we'll talk about highfalutin economic matters as well. The M2 money supply is shrinking. What's the M2 money supply? I don't have the definition to read it to you, but basically it's like all the real money in the world, all the money in checking accounts, cash, money market accounts, all the liquid money in the world. The M2 money supply is shrinking. And like the most recent time that happened was during the Great Depression. How's that for some good news? We're just assessing risk. Okay. This guy, Greg Weldon, said that the other day. He said, I'm stealing this. I like to give credit when I steal from people. He said it, and I'll continue to say it. We're not doom and gloomers. We are risk assessors, right? We assess risk and we see major risk. The M2 money supply shrinking at the same time that the big companies are starting to lay people off. Woo-wee! It's going to be an interesting year. I want you to think about this. Has this crossed your mind lately? We know absolutely we will argue. I will argue with you about this until the end of the day. Absolutely. That over long periods of time, okay, over 5 years, over 10 years, the value, the real value, the price of silver and gold will keep up with inflation. We've been in kind of a little monkey world over the last couple of years because inflation was high and that meant the Fed was going to be hawkish, blah, blah. And we got big news coming up this week. We're going to get to that in a little bit here. But on a long-term basis, silver and gold will keep up with inflation. They've yet to really get their kick from the inflation we had over the last 3 years. Have you thought about this? Like the price, think back 3 years ago. What was that? 2021? Think back 4 years ago. The price of everything that you buy has gone up and up and up and up, with the exception of big screen televisions. I was watching the football game last night with my neighbor. I'm like, it's like the only thing that hasn't gone up in price are TVs. They're cheaper now than they were 10 years ago. That's an exception. Everything else has gone up and up and up and up and up, except for the price of silver and gold, right? I mean, they've done all right, but they haven't yet caught up. So we want to remember that as well. Let's talk about what's going on this week. Sorry, I'm pointing at you, basement dwellers. Thank you for being here. Don't forget, we got it. I don't even have to ask you guys. What a great gesture of kindness from you. 200 thumbs up. That means we ring the old cowbell. This is the bell warning, the cowbell warning. And I don't think Jake is here. Jake from Jake's Custom Parts. We'll ring it for him. Hey, I need to talk to you about something very serious, very near to my heart. These moderators do a great job. Jim M., Jake, CoinShop Chris, Craig, Annie Oakley, and Sassy Silver. Please, guys, do me a favor. This is the nicest thing you can do. You don't have to give a super chat, although it's nice and much appreciated. You don't have to subscribe, but I do want you to please type 8 because 8 is great, and we've got the greatest team of moderators of any YouTube channel in the whole world. And we are growing and growing like crazy, and that's with the help of these wonderful, wonderful moderators. Thank you to the moderators. Let's talk about what we have to look forward to. Are you ready? Uh-oh, hold on here. I don't want to talk about that. Okay, here, let's just talk about what's going to go on this week. Tomorrow's a holiday. Nothing's going on. But, guys, get ready. Because on Tuesday at 11 o'clock, it's going to be a crazy week for the metals. Let me have a sip of coffee. Okay, I'm back. All right, let me read this to you. On Tuesday, 11 a.m., Chris Waller speaks, okay? Fed governor. So we got the Fed. They're rolling out the Fed. This week I'm just going to say it right now. Next Sunday, we're going to be here together. I'm always here for you. Ever put out a new piece of content every day. But next Sunday, we're going to be here with either $40 higher. I'm not going to say $2,100 gold, $26 silver, but we're going to get much higher silver and gold prices or much lower. This is a pivotal week. We're going to go one way or the other. So hang in there. There's a chance we could be talking next week with gold below $2,000. All right. Okay. I missed a super chat. Hold on here. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Hold on. Bear with me. Oh, Leanne. Wow. Wow. That is super generous. Thank you, Leanne, for the super chat. Thank you. Thank you. Leanne, buckle up because this week is going to be pivotal for the silver price and gold price. We got Fed Governor Waller speaks on Tuesday. Okay. Retail sales come out Wednesday. Then we also had the Fed Vice Chair for Supervision, Michael Barr. He's the guy that's been talking about that they're going to stop the bank term funding program. That will be market moving news, whatever he says. At the same time, we have another Fed governor, Michelle Bowman. I don't know what Fed she's from. Okay. And then we get the Fed Beige Book. And then on same day, Wednesday, New York Fed President John Williams will be speaking. Okay. Then on Thursday morning, bright and early, Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic will be speaking. Okay, then we get the initial jobless claims, then we get the Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, housing starts, building permits, and then later in the day, this is all still Thursday. Thursday is going to be crazy. Atlanta Fed President, he speaks again. He's got a busy day. He's speaking twice on Thursday. Whew. Who says those government employees? Well, they're not really government employees because the Fed is not part of the U.S. government. On Friday, we'll get consumer sentiment. That will be interesting. Guys, how can consumer sentiment be good when people don't have any money? I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe Michigan, whatever, okay? It just doesn't make any sense. On Friday, we got Michael Barr, Fed Vice Chair of Supervision, speaks again. He also has a busy week. Well, he's going to be killing the banks in March 11th. But anyway, 4:00 finally on Friday, we've got. Thank you, Nancy, for that super chat. Wow, man, super generous. On Friday at 4:00, we'll wrap up an exciting week with another Fed speaker, no other than Mary Daly herself. So, guys, what could happen this week? Okay, Jerome Powell is not speaking, but all of his little underlings are. All the San Francisco Fed and the Cleveland Fed and the Richmond Fed and they're all going to be out talking. It's going to be very interesting how they tilt things towards the hawkish or towards the dovish. I got a sneaking suspicion it's going to be dovish, and that would be really good for the silver and gold price, but it's a sneaking suspicion. It's not a strong suspicion. Oh my God, I just remembered something. Oh my gosh. We don't use the Lord's name in vain in the basement, nor do we curse when the camera's on. I forgot about something, guys. This is good news. All right, so that's what's going on this week. Let me get back. Let me end that thought and stay on track. It's going to be a pivotal week for the silver price and the gold price. Oh my gosh. Why haven't you reminded me about this? This is good news for us. We're going to focus in on gold, but this has to do with silver. Absolutely just as much about silver as well. Okay. What's the gold price? Where's my phone? Oh, let's look at the gold. Let's look at the gold price. It hasn't changed since Friday because it's not trading. I think it's around 2,050. We're going to look at the spot price. Okay, 2,048. It's almost 2,049. This is good news, guys. Think about this. Gold, and we had that Sunday night smash up that happened, 5 Sundays ago? 6 Sundays ago now? Anyway, We've talked about that ad nauseum. Gold is still within. Thank you. Wow. Leonel Flores, thank you for the super chat. You guys have been super generous this morning, and it's super appreciated. Guys, I know it's difficult investing in the precious metals. I get it, right? And we have this. We're facing two hard things. Number one, we're digging in the dirt, right? We're courageous. You're courageous. You're willing to look at what's really going on, trying to figure out, not just listen to what they say on the Children's News Network or whatever, you're digging in. It's hard from that perspective. But then the price, it's always tamped down. It's always somewhat controlled, okay? But let's remember one thing that's going on right now with gold, and gold will lead silver. The price of gold's $2,050 an ounce. Right? If I told you that 4 years ago, 5 years ago, you would be jumping for joy. If I told you that okay? But remember this, we are still, I consider 2,100 the big number to get above. We are still very close, a couple days of good action in the gold market, very close to getting to all-time high territory. I joke around, right? I would say we're a stone's throw, or I feel dirty saying that, spitting distance. We're somewhere between a stone's throw and spitting distance of a new all-time high in gold. Okay? That's big. I know it feels like, it's almost like they conducted psychological warfare against us, especially if you own precious metal mining stocks. All right? It feels like sometimes it's like psychological warfare. It's like they start to do good, then they pull the rug. They start to do good, then they pull the rug. They start to do good, then they pull. It's almost like they're saying if we can mess with them enough times, everybody will give up on gold, right? And we're not giving up. And we're not giving up on silver either. And we're not giving up on the precious metal mining stocks. Let me take this quick opportunity. Speaking of precious metal mining stocks, a company that's pulling a lot of silver and even a lot of gold out of the ground right now, a well-run company, a sponsor of Ron's Basement. They make this possible. It's a stock I've owned for years and years prior to them sponsoring the channel, is Fortuna Silver Mines. I happen to think they have one of the best management teams in the business, headed up by Jorge Ganoza. For almost 20 years, they've been delivering on their promises, delivering value, growing the company in super exciting prospects as we head into the next couple of years. They've positioned this company to survive in difficult metals markets environments, and they've done that. But also, right, they can really harvest potentially some big gains if we get big price increases in silver and gold that all of us are looking forward to. I'm not giving investment advice, just my opinion. And I want to say thank you to Fortuna Silver Mines for sponsoring Ron's Basement. You can check them out at fortunasilver.com. Now, so that's the story. What did I do with my notes? That's the story, right? We are within very close distance of new all-time highs. And when we get above 2,100, 2,200, it's party time. Who knows, right? Maybe a year from now, I'll be down here saying, I can't believe gold's $1,700. I don't anticipate that being the case. There's too much going on in this world that just indicates to me that there's a confluence of factors coming that will be good for the silver and gold price. Okay? All right. When we broaden our scope to what's going on in the world, it's even more frightening for the younger generation. What scares me, I don't know, have you ever thought about this, considered this? Maybe, do you have children? I have young children. They're 11. They're not so young anymore, twins. But that there's a number of countries in this world that maybe feel like they have a score to settle with the United States. I don't want to be negative. This is my country. But that maybe there's a number of countries out there that feel like they're not too pleased, not too happy. We're going to talk about CBDCs next, okay? Okay, but I want you to consider that. Like there's countries out there that aren't real happy with the United States.
Are they preparing for a currency war? We talked about this yesterday. We talked about it last night. You know, if you came over with that bottle of Jack Daniels, I'm not drinking, but you're drinking. We're watching football, right? And I'm telling you about my neighbor next door, right? Who I don't, and I'm not, this is hypothetical. I'm telling you about my neighbor around the corner. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that we don't get along with. It's snowing outside. They're preparing massive amounts of snowballs, right? For a snowball war. We'd be like, we better get going, huh? The other great example, I think, is if I told you that, let's say, North Korea has increased their production of ballistic missiles by 6 times, that they're producing more ammunition than any other country in the world, wouldn't we be afraid that there was a war coming? So if they tell us, and this is what they're just, this is so critical. This is what they're just telling us. They're just telling us that the world central banks are buying metals, gold in particular, at world record levels. Okay? These are the insiders. Okay? And these are the people that know what's going on in the world. And they're buying gold at a record pace. But, remember, nobody tells the truth. Right? Unfortunately. When it comes to these big organizations, that's just what they're telling us. What's really going on? And if we look at that like we do if we looked at North Korea stockpiling an unbelievable amount of weapons, a world record amount of weapons, if we look at the central banks of the world stockpiling a world record amount of gold, wouldn't that maybe make us, is it going to be one of those things that we look back on and say, we should have seen that coming? Is there a currency war coming? Right? Because let's face it, the world, right? The only thing that's ever held value over thousands of years is gold. Why would the world central banks be accumulating that barbaric relic gold? And that's just what they're telling us. Likely, the amount they're accumulating could be even way, way more. So, I don't know. Do you want to be your own central bank? If you own metal, you're acting as your own central bank. Let's talk about central bank digital currencies and some news we have regarding CBDCs, because we haven't talked about that for a while, right? This whole CBDC thing going on. Let me give you some facts. And thank you, each and every one of you, for being here. I mean that. It's true. It's a big deal. We come together in the basement. We're having a little powwow, right? Us gold and silver enthusiasts trying to just stay on top of what's going on in the world, make sense of all this. It's a big deal. I appreciate it. Don't forget, subscribing is free. And those thumbs up, well, they go a long, long way. Can we get to 300? CoinShop Chris keeps throwing virtual. Guys, let me ask you a question. Do we want to do it this morning? Do we want to get the 300 thumbs up? Well, then you got to press that button. And you know what we do at 300 thumbs up? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. See that right there where my finger is? That right there. That's the golden gong. We'll ring it 3 times, and I'm like a dog when I ring it. I'm fascinated by the fact that when you hit that gong, the noise goes on for like 5 more seconds. Let's talk about CBDCs while you guys give us those thumbs up, because we are going to get to 300 thumbs up. They will own everything, okay? The powers that be, they will own everything, okay? They will know everything. This is what happens when there's central bank digital currencies. They'll know everything you spend, every little penny of your money on. They'll be able to use artificial intelligence and computer algorithms to analyze everything you do. They'll be able to send money. They'll be able to say, here, we need you to go spend some money at the grocery store. They will control it all. Those are CBDCs. Christine Lagarde from the European Central Bank. She bugs me. You know who Christine Lagarde is? Look her up some other time, okay? She has said basically that the digital euro, okay? Look, and we're like tied at the hip to the Europeans. The digital euro is on the way. It's going to be free and easy to use, Okay. But she's saying, don't worry, don't worry. They don't want to, they're saying, and we know central bankers never lie. They always tell us the truth, right? She's saying that you can still have your cash. Don't worry. But we're going to have this digital euro. Does that seem like something maybe you want to be a little suspicious of? I don't know. They've already developed the digital wallets. I guess a digital wallet is where you put your digital euros, your CBDC in Europe, okay? It's already been developed. Now they just need something to put in it. Well, how about a CBDC? Huh? Yeah. What do you think about that? Okay. Here's the point, though. No one asked the people what they wanted. Think about that. The governments, the central banks, are just developing these CBDCs. Has anybody asked you if you want a CBDC? No. I know that's why maybe you like to accumulate shiny white metal, but nonetheless, no, nobody's asked you if you want a CBDC, okay? And we know what's going on. The first step, all right, the first step toward this is bank deposits being converted into digital tokens. And we know that Citibank and JP Morgan have both launched digital token banking services. Okay. The infrastructure is in place for international settlement by the central banks for the central bank digital currencies. Okay. What's a token? It's something that represents a claim digitally on a programmable digital platform. Ask yourself this question. We got news last year that the Federal Reserve kind of quietly, they weren't completely quiet about it, but they announced the Fed Now program. It's kind of the infrastructure for a CBDC. It's kind of like a new water main being installed in your neighborhood. The water company's out there. Some guy shows up in your front yard with a bulldozer, starts digging. You're like, hey, what are you doing, Charlie? He says, oh, we're putting in a new water main. And you're like, well, I don't want a water main in my yard because I have my own well. Now, the own well is the exact same thing as you owning silver and gold, right? Well, the guy from the water company says, well, tough luck. We have eminent domain. We're putting in a new water main all through your neighborhood. And you say, but wait a minute. I just told you. I have my own well. I'm my own water supply. And he says, well, tough luck. You know what? We're putting in a water main through your neighborhood. I don't know. Talk to your local representative. And then 2 years later, you get a letter in the mail saying it's now illegal for you to have your own well. You are legally required to hook your house onto the water main. That's what we could be facing, right? The Fed Now, maybe, I'm not saying for sure, is like the new water main going through your neighborhood. Like, oh, we're just putting in a water main. Don't worry about it, right? And then a year or 2 years later, you get the letter telling you, you can't have your own well. You need to use the city water. Does it make sense that could potentially be what we're facing? We need 4 more thumbs up. Let's get out the Coin Shop Chris timer. Guys, 3 more thumbs up. Come on, you can do it. This is 2 minutes. Do you want me to sing for 2 minutes? No, you want to give those thumbs up so we can ring the gong. Okay? And then we're gonna talk about come on. All right, I'll put this down. I'm watching it, though. I'm watching it. So in this big picture idea of central bank digital currencies, the big fear is, will you be able... We got 300 thumbs up. Let's do the gong. Look, you guys beat the clock. Congratulations. Let me get the golden gong, and I want you to listen. It's very relaxing. It continues to ring after I hit... Thank you to Stu for the golden gong. Whoop. That was an accidental hit. This is for you. Still ringing. Listen, last one. 313 thumbs up. You guys are awesome. So the big fear. Do you want me to talk from back here? The big fear is, will you be legally able to own silver and gold when central bank digital currencies come about. I think you will. Okay. And the other really cool thing that I believe is going to happen, right? I think in 7 years from now, right? 2031? What? Crazy. Don't forget, guys, it's 2024 now. I know you're all getting older like me. We forget. Time flies. 2024. In 7 years, will we have cash? I ask you. I'm going to take a poll, right? If you think that we'll have cash in 7 years, type Y. If you think cash will be gone in 7 years, type no. And I'm going to monitor. Here we go. No, or in. What the heck? Why is that not working? Here we go. I can't even comment. Somebody banned me from commenting on my own live stream. No, I don't think that we will have. We got a bunch of notes now. Wow, you guys are saying no. Jim M, Todd Pauly, Dutch Farmer, Sassy, Silver, Ricky's House of Crap, Crap Duster says yes. No. Cody, Ed Seller, no. Michael K says no. CoinShop Chris, no. Kenneth, no. Negative, no. Paul, STP Trader, Alan. Astro will probably be the last people on Earth with cash. Hey, Snakebite, my local St. Louis area man. Stay warm, no. Tony Tidy, yes. Daniel Ryder, yes. A couple of yeses. That's okay. John, no. No. Zamir, no. Dennis, no. Michael, no. Tommy Sevens, come for my silver, leave with lead. Tom and Mr. Blue says yes. Cult Leader says no. Okay, Dwight, no. So it looks like we're about 75% no, right? What will be the last bastion of privacy, right? You got it. This, right? I love silver. See that? That's a 3-ounce. Can you see that? That's a 3-ounce silver heart. Okay. They aren't taking it. Sorry. Silver and gold will be the last bastion of saving, because what potentially I could see happening with these CBDCs, right? You got to listen to what Christine Lagarde said. Christine Lagarde. She said, no, you can have cash. Well, you know what? I don't believe you, Christine. I'm sorry. I don't believe you. Why would I believe a central banker? When has a central banker ever told you the truth? Okay, let me bring up a couple points, because my blood pressure is up and I need to get this out. All right. Don't forget that 4 years ago, Janet Yellen, who was the previous head of the Federal Reserve, then somehow became the head of the Treasury Department. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, and Jerome Powell, Gomer Pyle himself, 3 years ago, you know what they were telling you? Okay, they were telling you, let's do check. They were telling you inflation is not a problem. Lie, check. They were telling you then that inflation was transitory. Lie, check. They were telling you that inflation was temporary. Lie, check. Now they're trying to tell you they got inflation under control. Well, maybe we're in a period of deflation, but they don't have inflation under control. We are set up for crazy inflation. Lie. The biggest lie of them all. Was 2.5, 3 years ago when Jerome Powell sat with a straight face and told the world, right, because everybody listens to what Jerome Powell says, that we're not going to raise interest rates until the end of 2023. Now, guys, we've already established that we're in 2024, but we're early in 2024. If Jerome had been telling you the truth back then, we would just now be seeing interest rate hikes. Bear in mind, right, that over the last 2 years, we went through a cycle of interest rate hikes, which when measured by their severity and their rapidity were the most extreme in the history of the world. Okay. Everybody says, oh, Paul Volcker in the 80s raised interest rates to 15%. They were already at like 8% when he came in. He just doubled them. Okay. what they did over the last like 2 years, they like went up 10 times. They didn't double them. They went up 10x, not 2x, 10x. Okay? And that killed silver and gold. But they're lie. We don't believe. We wish we could, right? Okay? I can believe you. I know that, right? I know the basement dwellers. We are normal, average, exceptionally average, good people. Very smart people. Very honest people. Very fair, right? But the reality is, just based upon a brief study of history, recent history, and that a lot of times the people in charge, especially over the last, we are smart to be a little suspect. So I don't know, guys. It's going to be a crazy week in the markets. It'll be fascinating next Sunday to see where the gold price and silver price are. All right. It's going to be a crazy, crazy week. The market sees things coming way before they happen. So, next Sunday, I had a feeling that we're going to be either in a gold price, and we talk about gold because that's the big barometer, closer to 2,000 or much, much closer to 2,100. There's certainly enough powder keg situations in the world right now to support much higher prices. It may take a while. It may take 2 or 3 months. Don't forget, the big thing that's really going to be a catalyst for the silver and gold price when the Fed cuts rates, okay? Because inflation is not under control. That will be a catalyst for inflation to go up while at the same time the Fed is being forced to cut rates. It's going to be interesting what this Barr guy, Mr. Barr from the Fed, says this week, because we got a lot of banks in this country that are in big trouble and are relying on this bailout program, the BTFP, Bank Term Funding Program. If they really do knock that out and let it expire after 1 year, we're sailing into some stormy seas. Have you ever been whitewater rafting? Susie and I went whitewater rafting once up in like Whistler, Canada. It's beautiful. But you're in this raft and everything's great. You got your helmet on and smooth, pretty. And then you come around the corner and you're like, oh my God. I think we're at the oh my God section. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the thumbs up. That goes a long way. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for subscribing, okay? I know it can be challenging at times navigating these rapids, okay? But we'll do it together. On behalf of myself and Susie, I want to thank you for your support of the channel. Thank you, most important, for coming here to the basement. It's a big deal to us when you join us here, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.